right, kids, good morning. And stop the music. Stop the music. What the hell? I pay you people a lot of money and you can't even manage my music. What is wrong with you? Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show, comrade. Today is Two-Wiener Tuesday, January 14th, 2020. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please use it at your own risk. This show. It's copyrighted. Copywritten, whatever, by moi. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form. The show is opinionated. That's why I do it. The host especially, callers 815-209-290. What is it? 815-290. 0912. I think that's it. Where's my mouse? Let's go back to the show page so I can check my own fucking phone number. 815-290-0912. Guess people that are naughty in the chat room are opinionated under no circumstances whatsoever. Should opinions be taken as advice if you are seeking professional advice? I strongly encourage you to hire a license if required person in his or her field there. Little Tommy. Hey, man. No. That's his name. Broadcasting live on Freedom Revolution Network, yeah, comrade. Broadcasting live from Loveland, from Russia, comrade. I think the impersonations are coming out. People fucking leave me alone. What? It's 6 o'clock in the morning. What in the fuck are you doing up? Oh, that's cool. I have so stupid. Pardon me. Oh God, what is it? I think these phones make you type wrong so you can crash. No. Hello. What? Hello, may I take your order, please?
Good morning.
Morning. What's happening?
I'm awake.
You are?
Well, they're open. They're open.
That's good.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm all right. It's Tuesday, so trying to wake up without drinking coffee, which seems to be impossible.
Good luck with that.
I know.
I don't think there's any way I could give up my coffee.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what is driving up my blood pressure. I don't know. I don't think it's really specifically stress. I think it's everything.
Yeah.
My diet, my supplements I'm taking, because I was really taking a lot for working out. Because I have a goal to weigh 190, but it's not going to be all fat. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Trying to bulk up, and I think the stuff I was taking, it's all legal and all that, but it warns you not to mix it with other things and other supplements and blah, blah, blah. And of course, I didn't listen. And I kind of think that may be it. So I just stopped everything, including coffee, and I'm going to see. Maybe I'll start going
just
on.
add things back slowly.
Huh?
Add things back slowly.
Yeah, and then I'll start taking things one by one and then monitor my. I really should get a a cuff and trend it and like sync it up to my iPad or something, because I did have one of those years ago. It's kind of cool actually, but I don't know what happened to it. But I got to do something, so I don't know. I'm good, but it's really hard to wake up without coffee. I can say that. So.
Well, I'm one of those people. I'll have a cup of coffee before I go to bed. So.
You do?
Yeah, quite often.
Wow, and you can go right to sleep?
Well, I mean, I seldom go right to sleep, but.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like I do that all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm one of those that it's the time of drinking that first cup of coffee that is important, not really the coffee, I guess. But I love my coffee.
I get it. I drink. I like Folgers Colombian blend. That's what I was usually drinking, but then I tried the McDonald's crap, and that's okay, but I don't know.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I do know if I drink different brands of coffee, it does some funny things to me, and one of them is apparently possibly my blood pressure. So I don't know. I just got to stay with something and stick with it and quit changing. So.
Yeah, my kids, because they know I love my coffee, they got me into getting the more expensive brands, I guess, the bags.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try all kinds of different flavors now.
Well, I'm going to ask you this because it's on a tear, and of course I'm not recommending or anything. What do you know about Bitcoin?
I don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay. I almost hung up on you. Sorry. Go ahead.
I would have just thought it was me anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. That was his computer. Must have been you.
But I ran across a coin called Electronium a couple of years ago, and they actually focused on mobile users, mobile miners, which I think they're the only ones that do that. But it hasn't moved. Got a bunch of coins, but it's like half a cent each.
Yeah, that's what the altcoins just coming on. They're really, their value is really low.
Yeah. But who knows? I really just don't. I have enough trouble with the concept of money to begin with because it's a man-made construct that we've just allowed to take over our lives.
In control, yeah.
And I don't really get the concept. I understand, like, sort of how it works and the whole technology behind it. But I still just don't get it.
Really?
Because they're still putting real money in it to give it value.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's... Well, that and the supply and demand. People right now, it just has value because people think it has value, just like the dollar, and they're buying and selling it, creating a market. And one thinks it's going to go up, the other thinks it's going to go down. So that's why it has some type of value right now, costed in dollars. So yeah, it's fascinating. You with your computer background, you would get it in a second. And there's a book called the Bitcoin Standard, and it would explain it to you. It's kind of mundane and drawn out because this guy goes all the way back to the concept of money and seashells and tulips and all this shit.
See, I might actually get into that book.
Yeah, well,
because of that,
you would, but that's why I'm saying that's the book that most people, including you, I think should get just to get their feet into this or dip their toe in it and then wrap their head around it, because he does a really awesome job in explaining it.
Yeah. I mean, I get that it's about, the supply and demand, and, everything's based on that. So,
Yeah.
but I really just don't, like I said, I mean, they started it with real money.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it not based on real money? And I understand, that it's not technically tracked and all of that. You have these horrible keys that you have to use, and in order to get into accounts and transfer and buy and sell.
You have a public key and a private key, and your private key is your encrypted key. And the real basic way to think about it is that's kind of like your IP address, but not really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I get that part of it.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, I get the technology part of it.
Right. Okay.
Just not the value part.
Well, it has value because people say it does. Instead of like the government saying the dollar has value, which is a fiat currency by decree, they say it has value, so therefore it must.
Yeah.
So, but this is more by the public and the people, and totally is decentralized and bypasses all the banks, and that's what pisses them off.
But does it really? Because we have, like Coinbase and I can't remember the other accounts I have, but they're your bank.
Yeah, they hold it for you. You don't see, and this is the part where it's beyond me, but you can actually have all your cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, whatever you want, Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever you want to buy. You can, if you're technical enough and understand it, which I'm not at that point, so I won't comment on it, but you don't need Coinbase or any of that crap. All you need is your phone or a computer, and you can store your crypto on your computer.
Now, see, I've seen the offline wallets.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played with them.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't want to end up screwing up and losing what little I have.
Right. No, I lost $1,100, so I get it. I get
Ow!
it. Yeah, I'm not proud of that. So, but you know what? In retrospect, I've lost way more in the stock market. I've lost more dollars, through my life. So, it's going to happen. I'm not dissing Bitcoin or anything of the kind. It was my bad. It was a stupid learning curve. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I know a lot of people that lost their personal keys and lost thousands of dollars because they couldn't get back into their wallet.
Right. Well, see, and there's a code for that, and that's kind of if you miss that code, which is a password, but all it is all these. It's a password, and it's all these letters and characters and numbers and lowercase and uppercase and blah, 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 blah. And if you lose that fucker, you've lost all your money. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Right, you're done. So what I did is I wrote it down, and I kept it in a very secure place, and I made sure I could read my own frickin' writing. Because if you do one, even an underscore or a backslash or whatever, if it's wrong, if one character's wrong out of this 30 character chain, like a DOS command, I guess would be the best way to explain it, you're fucked. Yep, bye-bye.
Yeah.
So that's why I use Coinbase, since you brought it up. And here's the thing with Coinbase. You're kind of right that it's like a bank, and it's an account and has your money and all that shit. And you have to have a state-approved ID or some type of official ID, government ID. So you can even open the account.
Not private?
It's not.
How is that private?
It is private, but if the government, with the cooperation of Coinbase, if the government says, hey, we think Tim Parsons, of course, I don't have any rights anymore, so they can, with the Patriot Act, they can do whatever the fuck they want. And I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying, though, we think he's doing this and doing that and fucking whatever, and we need access to his account. Well, of course, without a warrant and whatever now, after the Patriot Act, like I said, whatever. But they'll have to comply. But if you're savvy enough and you just do it on your own and take all those other quote unquote risks, but even in Coinbase, the security's pretty high. And if I forget something, I'm screwed. But if the government says we want access and see where all this money's going, because your private Bitcoin key is nothing more than like your IP address. It's just a bunch of code.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not, although your IP address goes back to your...
It's a piece of code that's attached to you.
Right. But it doesn't follow you where your IP address is basically your computer, which goes back to your house or your phone or whatever. So they can backtrack that or ping it or whatever, you know, to find out exactly where that IP address originated from. They can't do that with your private Bitcoin key. They can't do that. Because what it does is, just think of it like this. See, you want some money, Melissa? All I got to do is pull you up with the software, and I could send you like an instant message money, any amount of money you would want.
Oh, I know. I even have programming for websites to accept crypto.
So you know how that part works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you get it, but do you understand how it goes? Like as soon as I hit send to you and you get it with the blockchain and all that? Do you get that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I get all the technology behind it.
Okay.
That part of it is hard. It's like a piece of paper. I can understand that.
Okay.
It's the concept that just is over my head.
Well,
you know, but like I said, money itself is a concept that I have issues with. So,
well, you will have to learn about money, and there's a web page called goldsilver.org by Mike Maloney, and he has all these videos and explains the whole thing very well.
Oh, it's okay. When I say I don't understand the concept of money, I understand the concept, I guess, but I don't understand how we've let it become a controller of our lives.
Well, the Federal Reserve, Federal Reserve Act did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it's all controlled and everything goes through the banks now, and they control everything. And the government does it too with tax. The income tax law was passed the same year, ironically, as the IRS, same thing, Federal Reserve. It all was passed for a reason.
Oh yeah.
And need I say, on Christmas Eve, when most people were home in Congress, and they shoved it through, but nobody wants to bring that up. They were naughty. They shouldn't have done that. But
Seamus should be spanking them.
Yeah, well, they don't really care now because they really get off on that stuff and some other sick shit. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and nobody's held them accountable for it, and it's a big reason why there's corruption and money's just printed and money disappears and whatever, and nobody cares. So
yeah, and that's kind of my view on it. Is, you know, if we have the ability to print however much we want, and basically it has no actual value.
No. No, it's not backed by anything right now.
Yeah.
Just they say that it is, and the only thing it's backed by is our labor. And they say it's a reserve currency, which is the only thing that's saving our ass, because everybody has to accept it, which some countries are not doing now and jumping on that bandwagon. But yeah, that's the only reason. Without jobs and our labor, the money wouldn't be worth anything. It's all it's backed by is labor.
Well, yeah.
So. But it's hard for people to wrap their head around, because it's one thing they should teach in school, and they don't.
I went through all the economic. I mean, you know, back in our day, we had those classes. So, but I was one of those kids. I argued with my teachers really bad.
Oh, yeah, I did too. Yeah, I did too.
Because if something wasn't like hard and concrete, then there was question for it. I drove my teachers nuts.
Yeah, my psychology teacher was. I walked right out on him in college. I go, "You're fucking crazy," and I dropped the class. So he was a high Sigmund Freud. I'm like, no, Carl Jung I agree with more than Sigmund Freud, and he wouldn't stop. So I said, fuck this, I'm done. He's gonna fail me.
Sigmund Freud was a weirdo.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think all things are based on sex and drugs. At least male decisions are based on sex and drugs. I don't agree with that. Maybe 90% of them, but not all of them. So. Not all of them. So, well, I would really recommend people to educate themselves just for the education of Bitcoin, because it'll explain what's going on. And here's the thing: there's only going to be so many like you said, printed. There's only going to be so many printed, which is mined. So the network is the miners, and the miners are using. Now they're using graphics cards for the hash rate increase, which we talked about very basically before, to create more Bitcoins. But it takes an ungodly amount of electricity to do it.
Yeah, that was the big drawback I found, was you ended up either breaking even or losing money because of the bills that came along with the mining.
Right, and that's where there is some value to it. There's some intrinsic value to it, because unlike the Federal Reserve, which now they sell bonds and treasuries and stuff, but it's still just a matter of a couple keystrokes on a computer, and bam, it's done. So there's, at least when they printed money physically, there was some type of cost and intrinsic value to it, but now it's zero. I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, if you want to get technical, whatever, the Federal Reserve or the Treasury is paying these people salary to do that, I guess. But it's minuscule. It doesn't even matter. But there is intrinsic value in a Bitcoin, because it takes all that energy and cost of electricity to mine one Bitcoin.
Right.
And depending on your rates and where you're at, it could be anywhere from $400 to $800 per Bitcoin. Or sorry, more than that. It could be more than that. See, again, you have to do your homework on it. But I mean, who can afford that? Who can afford?
Well, yeah.
I can't.
I mean, back when it was $1,000 a Bitcoin, that's one thing. But it's gone way down, hasn't it? I haven't even been keeping track of it lately.
Well, I got it right in front of me, and I have, because here's what I am doing. Again, not advice to anybody. What else? I'm wiped out. I'm done. I'm 55. I'll get Social Security starting at 65. Whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah, right. No, they'll keep bumping it up. Well, you get Social Security when you're 80. Oh, gee, thanks. I'm fucking dead. What a scam. What a scam Social Security is. I don't even want to get into it. But I did figure out what they're doing, because silly me, you look at your check and Social Security is taken out, and you think that's your money and they're shoving it in your savings account. No. No, they're not doing that. They're taking it and give it to somebody, to the generation in front of you that's retired. So you're paying for someone else's retirement. So this is how they get on taxing you for Social Security. So they're stealing your money out of your check that you think's yours for your Social Security, and they're paying somebody else's income. So they're taking it from you, giving it to them, but when they get it, they're receiving it as income. So that's how they're getting away with taxing you on an income tax on Social Security, which you think they're taking out of your check, saving it for you so you can retire. It's the biggest fucking horseshit scam on the planet. That's my money. That's my money. That should be in my account, which I know none of it is. It's all gone. They spent it all.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was something that the government wasn't supposed to be dipping into, but they do it all the time.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, no politics involved. I think Clinton had something to do with that. He took a bunch of it and paid down the debt or some shit. I can't remember what he did, but he did do something with it. So you should. It doesn't matter who did what. Don't touch it. It's not your money. It's my money.
Exactly. Yeah. We paid into it. It's ours.
Yeah.
What's that commercial? All I can think about is, it's my money. I need it now.
Oh, yeah.
J.G. Wentworth.
Yeah.
J.G. Wentworth.
I haven't seen that in a while. You know what? I'm going to ask this thing. How much? Well, I should go to Google, I guess, right? I don't fucking know Google. Some of these search engines suck. Remember back in the day it was Yahoo?
Well, Yahoo's still around.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it was Yahoo. That was it. There was no other search engine. It was Yahoo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's Google and all these other ones. And, yeah, Yahoo's still around, but it's Google. It's crazy. How much?
Yeah, Google's a necessary evil nowadays.
Yeah. How much does it cost? Because I want to know to mine a Bitcoin. And, of course, you can never get a straight answer. Well, depending on this and that, and Bitcoin's the current cryptocurrency, and they give you all this fucking shit, and except what you want to know.
Yeah. Well, of course. It's an easily avoidable question.
I know.
Because there's too many variables.
God forbid you just answer the question. Let's see here.
Yeah. It's like we just want an estimate. We don't need exact.
Oh, really quick. According to research, this is off of MarketWatch.com. According to research conducted by Elite Fixtures, whatever that is, the cost of mining a Bitcoin varies significantly around the world, from as little as $531 to a stunning $26,170.
Wow.
The United States
can grow like an entire crop.
For
less than that.
You have to broaden your horizons there. So, yeah. You know what you should do is sell pot in Bitcoin. Then that would be cool. Anyway, of course you have the government all over your ass for sure on that one. United States $4,758 for one Bitcoin. So can you afford a $4,000?
No.
And then you're praying to God and whoever else that it doesn't go below that.
Belly up.
Yeah, right. It runs to zero. But see,
no.
But a Bitcoin right now is $8,500. So you would double your money.
Yeah. I didn't realize they were still that high.
Well, I've been watching it. I bought it a long time ago, right before my divorce, and I forgot. And I threw $500 in it, and I think at that time was $800 or $1,000, but the transaction never went through, and I completely forgot about it. And I went and looked into it again, and no, it didn't go through. But just by those numbers, $500 would have turned into, if it was almost a Bitcoin, $8,500.
Wow,
it's insane. Some guy bought it at $10,000. When it was low, and he turned it into $20 million.
It's insane.
Well,
it really is. It reminds me of the .com.
Well,
the .com bubble.
Yeah, but it really is a potential currency. And here's the thing: I think, this is my opinion, I think eventually all these other little cryptocurrencies are going to go bye-bye for the most part. And it's just going to be Bitcoin. And Bitcoin...
Well, yeah, you can't have 20 of them.
Well, and that's how they're trying to deceive everybody. And I'm sure there's some good intentions, people that are coming up with different cryptocurrencies to provide a service or whatever and make some money. But it all in all, I mean, here, you know how much money, you know how much capitalization is in just Bitcoin? I mean, it's not going anywhere.
No, it's been around this long. It's not going anywhere, at least not anytime soon.
Yeah, it's, hang on, I'm trying to navigate to the, oh yeah, whatever happened to Netscape? I was going to bring that up to you.
Netscape went way under years ago.
I know, after Microsoft, quote unquote, I don't care what they say, they fucking integrated Explorer into the operating system, and you didn't have a choice; you had to use it. But whatever. I know they went to court for that, but whatever.
No, I used to use Netscape over IE.
Oh, I loved it.
I've never been a fan of IE.
It was Navigator, right? Netscape Navigator was the browser.
Yep.
Yeah. So the market cap of Bitcoin. This means how much money is invested in Bitcoin. $155 billion with a B dollars.
Wow.
So it's not going anywhere. So $155 billion. If that vaporized overnight and went to zero, I mean, I would be so fucking shocked. I really would.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's been around long enough now that it's not going to go anywhere overnight.
Yeah, 10 to 12 years. But here, I was going to explain this to you. So the Bitcoin mining, which now we just did our homework, I guess. I don't know based on what. $4,700. So if you want to be a miner, I want to be a miner, it's going to cost us that much money to mine a coin, which is manufacture a coin. But as time goes on, it gets harder to do that, and they have the amount of what they can mine or print comparing to money. The reason why money loses its value is because the government prints the shit out of it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bitcoin, they can't do that. There's only so many that can be mined over a period of, I think, 20 years. So, and it halves every 4 years. So the amount of coins that were produced the year before is halved, and it keeps halving until I forget how many coins it is mined, and then they're done. So, i.e., no more money can be printed after 20 years.
Yeah.
So if it's simple supply and demand, and you ask why the value goes up, it's going to go up because the more people that want it and the less there is, the higher the price is going to go.
Yeah. Well, like I said, my thing with it isn't that part of it. I get that part, but if it's based off of green money, paper money, then it's not. It's still, I don't know. I don't even know the right words to get my thought across.
Well, it's not based or made by that. Anybody can buy Bitcoin through the world, so the currency is irrelevant. So I think that's where you're a little bit confused.
But that's part of what I'm saying, though, is you buy it with regular money, whatever country you're from and whatever their money is called. Mm-hmm. You buy it with that money. Therefore, it's based off of that money.
Well, it's not really based. You're just doing a transaction in that currency. You can buy Bitcoin with gold, silver. You can use any. Oh, yeah. I
didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, you can buy it with whatever you want.
Huh.
Yeah. So, and then you can buy other cryptocurrencies with Bitcoin, or you can buy Bitcoin with other currencies. It's not really the vehicle that you're using, and it's not really valued in that, but it is at the time, whatever the value of the dollar or
right.
Whatever gold.
That's more what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's based off of the value of the dollar or whatever currency.
Yep.
So that's where I have the problem.
Well, but it's
got to be based off of something, and it's based off of money.
No, it's based off of market. It's like if you want to buy a picture, it's not the dollars it costs to buy it; it's what you'll pay for it. You see what I'm saying? The market dictates the price. Whatever you use to buy it with is irrelevant. Once you buy it with gold, the gold's gone. Once you buy it with dollars are gone. Market dictates price. That's it. Not what you use to buy it.
I'm not talking about what dictates the price of it. It's what dictates the value of it.
That's the same. That's the same thing. The value or the price of something is the same thing.
Because the value is done in dollars.
If you're buying it in dollars. See, that's where people get.
Well, I just learned like 2 minutes ago that you can buy it with other things.
Exactly. Right.
So you learn something new every day.
Oh yeah. You can buy whoever's selling it. I mean, I forget the options. I just have my checking account connected to it, so I can do it through Coinbase with the click of a mouse. It's freaking amazing. It's instantaneous. But if you found somebody that want to sell their Bitcoin to you in gold, because gold's going through the roof too, and if you want to say, listen, I have some gold, I want to buy some Bitcoin with it, and somebody will sell their Bitcoin to you with gold, then that's fine. And I'm sure there are people that are, because people want to get into gold and they might want to get out of Bitcoin. So, yeah.
And you can, and like I said, I mean, I've got programming that I can put into websites to accept Bitcoin for payment for products, for services.
Right.
I've thought a few times about trying to see if I could find a buyer for a website build or something and have them pay me in Bitcoin.
Well, here, I'll tell you this, and I'm totally joking, but kind of. But for my show, just make donations of Bitcoin.
I can add that.
You can. Then do it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take that. Hell yeah. And then get this, and then I'll donate 10% to Pride Janie's Fund, which is Steven Tyler's organization for sexually abused women. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I freaking love him.
Oh, I know. Yeah. No, I will. And you could put it on there. I don't really care.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that way it's like, well, Tim, you said this, and you're not doing it. You're an asshole. Yeah. I never said that. Yeah. Right. Whatever. No, I want
We're
to.
on record.
No, I will tithe or whatever to Steven Tyler's fund. I mean, why not?
Cool.
Why not?
I will find my programming and get it set up for you.
Yeah.
Others might be, other hosts might be interested in doing that too, just to get into as a way to get into the Bitcoin.
I'll tell you what, just for accounting purposes and fuck the banks, it's really so much easier. It's like, oh my God, really? So, yeah, and then, I mean, it's all, what's great about the blockchain accounting technology is once it's done and sealed and calculated, it cannot change. It's a ledger that cannot change. And I think that's why the government doesn't like it, because God forbid they actually are honest with their books and they go to a blockchain. It doesn't even have to be Bitcoin, just a blockchain technology where you can go in there and look. Of course, they could hide all their identity and or their private keys. They can do that, but say, oh no, you peasants, no, we must know where every dollar goes. But the point is that it's all ledger that cannot be tampered with, and it can't be broken. So
right.
Yeah, because all the computers and the miners that are processing the calculations, not to mention mining coins, it takes all those computers as a network, and there's no one computer on the planet that has more processing power than all these computers that are networked processing these transactions. That's why it's so great. Make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The technology of it makes sense.
Right. But see, you get that part. People don't. Other people don't get it. They don't get it.
But that's part of the reason why I don't get the other part.
Well, to get the whole thing is going to take a lot of homework and understanding. I mean, I know enough about computers and how they work to be dangerous in technology and blah 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 blah. But it's contagious. You're coughing, and you coughed on me, so thanks very much. Yeah. The meltdown from 2008 got my head into all this stuff. So. I mean, Bitcoin, people say Bitcoin's like digital gold, and that's really, really pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's always had my curiosity.
Well, I'd look into it because here's my opinion on it too, and we'll get off it. And like I said, I'm not trying to get anybody to do it, but I don't have a pot to piss in, and the only way that I'm going to get my purchasing power back, and which is the right term, is by investing in Bitcoin, because I can't work myself into retirement. I can't save myself into retirement. It's impossible. I don't have enough time.
None of us can anymore.
Well, see, but I'm not talking. You're right, and I'm not talking for them. I'm talking for me. They don't realize that either.
Yeah.
Once the value of the dollar goes in the shitter, or God forbid fails, people are going to be fucked. But they're going to be. It's illusion. It's an illusion because the amount will go up. It's like, oh my God, look, I made 20, 30, 50, 80% on my money. Oh, my money doubled. Oh yeah, well, how much does it cost to buy a gallon of gas? $20?
Yeah.
See, that's where they get you. That they got this system rigged where, well, what are you bitching about? You made 20% on your money. Well, how much did everything else? I mean, have you really looked at what a package of fucking ribeyes costs in the store?
Yeah, and I won't buy them.
Exact. Sam's got cute, and nothing against them. I don't have my membership anymore. I let it expire because there's no reason to go there and buy just for me. But when I did, and I first moved here to Colorado, that's where I shopped just out of habit for the past 30 years. Yeah. And They used to have 3 ribeye steaks for $30. Now, I went in there not that long ago, and they have 2 for just under $30. So if my math is right, that's about a 30% increase just in that fucking product right there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But see, they won't.
Yeah,
they won't tell you
packaging has gotten smaller, but our prices have either stayed the same or gone higher.
That's right. So they're hiding the inflation as much as I can by the Romans did it when they shaved coins. They wanted more money and they couldn't increase taxes, so every time they brought tax money in, they shaved them down and made them smaller, and then they made more coins. It's the same shit. But people don't get it.
I remember learning about that and was just fascinated that they had the ability to actually do that.
Who? The Romans?
Yeah. Yeah, it blew my mind. That it was just like, okay, well, we'll just shave these coins down because it was based off of the weight. And,
right.
And it's like, okay, so it's still the same amount, just more coins.
Right, and they're hiding that with what we buy now instead of they're inflating the currency, but they're also what you're buying is less of what you're buying, but they're hiding it.
Right.
Yeah, but people don't see it.
I'm curious if they don't want to see it or if they really don't see it.
I think it's
both. They just don't grasp the concept.
They don't grasp the concept, then they go, well, what can I do about it anyway? You know, I need food, so I got to buy it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's more apathy than anything else.
Right. Well, right. And that's what's going on. But depending on who you listen to and you watch, and you're not going to see it on CNN or Fox News or none of that because none of them ever touch it. And even the financial stations like CNBC and Fox Business, they very rarely will bring this stuff up. You're just gonna have to go to YouTube and do your own homework and read books on it. But we're screwed. I mean, the inflation is just out of control right now in the real rate. Because when the government gives you the CPI index, they take out things that actually go up, like commodities and electricity and gas and utilities and food. They strip that out. Yeah. So, inflation's only 3%. Yeah, my fucking ass it is. Right, yeah, because they take
my bank account.
Yeah, and how come this shit's fucking smaller than it was, and the price is the same or even slightly higher? So it's all just a smoke and mirrors game. It's really, it's really quite sad. Again, is what it is, because you're misleading people.
Well, see, and that's why I have such an issue with the concept of money, because I see through that.
Yep.
And it's like, why don't people wake up and realize what it's doing to us? Do we have an alternative? No, not really. I mean, we can always go back to the barter system.
Right. That's
I love
right.
barter.
Yep. Right. Yep.
You know, but as far as the real world, we have to have the money to live. We're the only animals on Earth that pay to live here. And if we don't, then what? You know, we're forced into it.
Yep. You know, there's a really good video that came out. Let me see if I can find it. This is an awesome video. Let's see. Video. It's a cartoon. Maybe I can put a link in the chat room explaining. This really, really is a really good start for all this crap. Oh, I'm serious. It's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Here it is right here.
Have you watched The Family on Netflix?
Oh, there it goes. Yep. No, I have not.
I started to, and I need to finish watching that.
So are you recommending that?
I am. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Like I said, I only started watching it. I still need to finish watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about how the top families have integrated themselves into our politics, about our money, all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if this works. I need to link fucking work. Let me see. Try to link again. Well, you have to copy and paste it, put it in the browser. But anyway, that is freaking. It's like, oh my god, that'll definitely wake you up to what's going on, and just it's really well done. And I found that probably in 2009, 2010, because I was doing everything I could to learn about what was going on. So,
yeah, it's weird whenever you start learning about what's really going on, because it puts you in a very weird mind space.
Well, what it does is is you find out it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, and I've heard analogies of that's actually what the Wizard of Oz movie was really about, was this stuff behind the man behind the curtain and the gold, follow the yellow brick road, which is gold. I don't know. I mean, you can read anything into anything if you really want to, but but be that as it may, I really did all my homework on this stuff, and it's just really sad that these people are knowingly and willfully misguiding us. And I'm not saying all of them in the government, because I don't think they know either. But the people,
I think they know a little bit, but not near the depth.
Right.
I think some of them do, and I think some of them are involved. But you're going to get the conspiracy theorist out in me, aren't you?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, that's where it all goes, because that's how they hide it.
Well, yeah, and it ends up becoming conspiracy theory, even though it's the truth.
Right. Yeah, and it'll all come out, but it's just, it just to prove anything, just watch Gold. But according to Max Kaiser from the Kaiser Report, and allegedly, Jamie Dimon and J.P. Dimon and what is that? Your dog?
Sorry.
They caught.
Welcome to my real world.
That's fine. They caught people. They caught people suppressing the price of gold, and nothing happened to them.
Hang on just a second. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's all right.
My son's trying to leave for work and can't find a scraper. Well, a scraper's up in Aspen.
Mm-hmm. Go get it.
But anyway.
Yeah, but the whole thing is there's shenanigans going on, and nobody will do anything about it. And they get caught doing something, and they still don't do nothing about it. So where if it was you or I, we would be in prison. So it's just all.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's just all. I mean, in the meltdown, the Attorney General wouldn't prosecute anybody because he didn't want his name associated with taking down the economy. How stupid is that?
It's like, never mind your oath.
Yeah, but if you or I do something, oh, fuck, throw the key away. It's...
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just... that's not freedom, and that's not liberty, and Founding Fathers warned about it a long time ago, and if the central banking system ever gets into power, we're all screwed. And that's exactly what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
So, but if people don't wake up and learn about it, they're going to wake up, and they ain't going to have a pot to piss in, and they're not going to have a job.
No, and that's why people really need to prepare for that kind of a situation, or at least have it in the back of their head,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just learn. I mean, history always repeats itself, and there's no society in the history of the planet where they had a fiat money system, which wasn't backed by silver or gold, that has lasted more than 40 or 50 years, and we're about there.
Yeah.
And then people aren't. I mean, look at Weimar Germany, and they were using their money because it was so devalued and printed by the government, which we're doing now, that they were using it to wipe their ass and fucking heat their furnace, throwing it in there for fuel for the fire for the furnace.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was toilet paper and fuel to keep them warm because it had no value.
Well, yeah. And I mean, when it comes to that point, what's worth more, heat and living, or keeping that money?
Well, and that's the thing, and then people can't get the concept that the dollar probably will become worthless. They just can't Well, they would never let that happen. Okay.
They don't have a choice of whether they let it happen or not.
It doesn't matter. That's they have the full faith and trust that dollar is going to buy them something because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
And then that's also what keeps the game going. But once people realize that, or, well, what can I do about it anyway? I'll deal with it when it happens. Okay, so are you storing prepared food so you don't starve to death? Are you buying silver and gold so you can have something to actually buy and sell, or do you have something you can barter with, like you said, which it'll go back to that too?
Yeah.
But just the education alone. But see, people can't handle that and they freak out.
Well, yeah, because it's a threat to their lifestyle.
Yeah, it's your livelihood, right? And it's, that's one thing I can guarantee, that I get a paycheck and I'll always get a paycheck, and I got my IRA and my savings account and nothing will ever happen, and I got my house and I can always sell my house and live happily ever after. It's like, man, I guess you didn't learn anything, did you?
Yeah, it's people don't realize that, I mean, even a regular job, I've had it happen where I've walked into work and all of a sudden the company was closed.
They did that with some accounts that I had. I'm not going to name their name because it's irrelevant. But yeah, it was a restaurant, and I walked up one day to do a service call, and they locked all the employees out, said store's closed. Yeah, that's how they do it.
I was actually a school bus driver for a period of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the companies that we walked in one morning getting ready to go pick up kids for school, and the gates were locked.
Yep.
We literally could not go pick up those kids to go to school.
Yep.
And that's school buses. That's our kids going to school.
Mm-hmm. So
if an industry like that can be hit like that, any industry can.
Any and all will, even if you have your own business. I mean, if you're doing web pages, that's basically for marketing and company selling crap. The economy goes down. I'll make web pages until I die, and there'll always be a demand. Not
necessarily.
No.
If our infrastructure gets hit
yep.
and our internet's gone tomorrow, I'm out of a job.
Right.
And that's what I've been doing for over 20 years.
Yep. And if people stop going out to dinner and all these buildings close and restaurants close, I'm out of a job because they don't need me anymore either. So,
yeah.
I mean,
there's so many random things that could happen that could literally take everybody out.
Yeah, but if you think that that's a conspiracy theorist attitude and you scare the hell out of people, and there's something wrong with you because that's never happened. It's like, no, well, maybe it's never happened here besides the meltdown and the Great Depression, but yes, it has. You're just not paying attention.
It's happened many times over.
Yep. So that's why I'm watching Bitcoin, and I'm a contrarian person, and if the government doesn't like it and a lot of people don't like it, that means it's good. Yeah. Yeah, that means that's something you should be paying attention to.
Yeah, I actually have that same mental theory.
Well, and they say, which is all bullshit, they say, well, we don't know where the money's going, and you could fund terrorists and buy drugs and this and that. Oh, you mean like a big fucking plane full of cash? Is that what you're talking about? How do you trace cash going to terrorists and drug dealers after it's given to them in $100 bills? You can't. But with Bitcoin and the blockchain, it's there.
Yeah.
You just have to show your identity. That's your private key, which They will find out eventually if you're using Coinbase or some type of middle. I don't even know what to call it, but let's just call it a crypto bank, I guess. I don't know. But, that's where you buy and sell it and keep it and do your transactions because they run through there. So, yeah, but see, they're not regulating it or making you do that right now. You could essentially keep all your crypto on your computer with your key and your private keys out there to match, and you could send money to anybody with total anonymity.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, it's still trackable.
Well, yeah, it's trackable, but like I said, once a blockchain is all those calculations are done and sealed, you can't get into them.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
So you got to go where it originated, like the IP address again. You know what I'm saying? You only can know where it was sent from and sent to. That's all you know. Anything in the middle, you can't get to it.
Right.
As far as changing it. But you can see the transactions. It's amazing. I really think if crypto fails, which probably ultimately it will, the blockchain technology for accounting is not going to go away. That's just going to be implemented into everybody's daily business eventually. That's what I think. And pray to God for the government too. So.
Yeah, and I like the fact that once it's done, they can't go in and change anything.
Right. Or you can't have.
I do like that concept of it.
Yeah, and you can't have two sets of books, and
right.
or get creative with your accounting or fucking whatever. You just can't do it. And if you really want to get into it, you could change the code or add to it that it won't let you do certain transactions because that's not allowable by law. So I mean, it would also be self-regulating and editing because it wouldn't let you do that because there's a law that says you can't. I mean, it's really. It's unlimited what can be done, but people, once again, aren't going to use something for good. They're going to probably use it for bad. So,
well, yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Because we are humans.
Yeah. But it's a very interesting concept, and I really, really, really strongly recommend in this respect an education for people to learn as much as they can about money and how it works. And the Federal Reserve and the banking system and inflation and reserve currency and petrodollars and all this stuff because it really wakes you up and then it makes you think, wow, I mean, how can this be sustainable? And it's not. That's the point.
Yeah.
Then you get cryptocurrency in there. I mean, I really think it's not. If I gave you $20, $100, or $1,000, whose fucking business is that?
Quite honestly, nobody.
Yes, but it is. But it is to the government.
But it's everybody's business.
And it is to the government because it goes through your bank account and it's on your statement and it goes from me to you and everybody knows what business is it if I'm on not Netscape, Netflix, or Hulu or fucking whatever. Yeah. What business is it of yours of what food I'm buying? It's nobody's fucking business. So that's what crypto. That's what crypto does. It's nobody's business what you're doing with your money. But well, you're concealing your transactions. You're being naughty. Oh, really? Like you, Mr. Government person, your fucking agency. I mean, come on. It's the pot calling the kettle black. If anybody should be,
it always has been.
If anybody should be accountable to what they're doing with our fucking money, it's them. Really, you're
most definitely.
You're paying $300 for a fucking hammer? Really?
Yeah, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry about what I'm doing with my money. And if I break the law, I'm eventually going to get caught. But what I do with my money is none of your goddamn business.
No, I've definitely, again, that's another one of those issues I have with the whole money thing.
Right. It's control.
That, everybody, that's all it is control.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really pisses me off because we're all taught, get a job, work hard, get an education, go to college that you can't pay for and default on. Then you get it. Then you can't find a fucking job because they're all getting shipped overseas or whatever. It's just a plan to fail. And
Oh yeah.
and we're gonna watch you, and we're doing what you're doing with your money. It's like, really, and it's just chasing the carrot over a cliff.
Yeah. It really is.
And when you finally wake up and realize all of that, it's probably too late, if you even do realize it.
Or you may have had realization of it for many years, but what are you going to do about it?
Well, I know what I'm going to do about it. I'm buying fucking Bitcoin. So, because I don't have a choice. Because when you get to your age and you're a non-productive citizen anymore, and there's age discrimination, and then they throw you in a fucking home and drug you up to keep you shut up or whatever, and you wither and die away, and your family doesn't come visit you. I mean, I'm not trying to be morbid or negative. This is reality.
It's reality.
I've fucking seen it. I've worked in these places, and I'd rather be dead. You know what? If you're going to do that to me, just take the wheelchair and throw it on Interstate 25 and let a semi fucking hit me. Right? I don't want to live like that.
Who wants to live that way?
Nobody does. But the thing is that when you get to your end of your life or your retirement years or whatever, you don't have any money to finally enjoy your life after you busted your fucking ass. And there's a good reason for it. There's a lot of people that lost half of their net worth in the meltdown. These people that retired right in 07 and 08 and then the meltdown happened, what happened to these people? They didn't do anything. They did what they were told.
Yeah, we all did.
Or
we tried to.
But you and I can still work. They can't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, my grandma's living in it's not assisted living. It's like the step down from that.
Yeah.
They still have their own apartment.
Yeah.
But they have 24/7 health care and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs her like $2,500 a month.
It's essentially a hotel with a medical staff, pretty much, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like $2,500 a month.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, on a fixed income, and then a meltdown happens because the fucking bankers and everybody got greedy with the houses, and everything fucking the market plunges, and then how do you pay for that? Because you can't.
Yeah. And they're looking at if anything happens to either one of them, the other one's going to have to go into a full assisted living center.
Yep.
And that's even more.
Yeah, well, that's why
right now they're doing it on 2 incomes.
Yeah, right. That's even more the point. So for me, my faith is not in the dollar anymore, and the bozos that are controlling and manipulating the dollars in the market and the value of it. I've seen it. It happened 12 years ago. It ain't happened to me. I lost everything in the beginning of the meltdown, and after it happened, that's when things started going downhill for me. It was just too much pressure.
Yeah.
So you know what? If there's an alternative, well, Tim, you could lose everything. Well, you know what? But at least I took a fucking...
I'm already losing everything.
Exactly. I know where the outcome's going to go doing it the other way that we're brainwashed into doing and indoctrinated.
Yeah.
But the other way, well, it could go to zero. Well, it can, but the money's going to zero. So it's just a matter of time, and it's a slow death. So...
Yeah, I'd rather have a quick one personally.
Yeah, I would rather have you shoot me in the head than die by 1,000 paper cuts. And then when I'm finally in a position where I'm going to retire and sit back and enjoy my life, I'm bankrupt.
Yeah.
Then what? Then who's going to help you? Bernie Sanders? Okay, sure. They're going to put you in a home, medicate you up and drug you up, and pray for the day that you die because you're costing them money. I'm sorry to say this, but it's going to be the Nazi regime in Germany all over again. If you're not productive and they're costing you money, you're dead.
You're gone.
You're dead.
Nope.
And that's why socialism, from that description in history of socialism, scares the hell out of me.
Well, the Nazis weren't actually socialists, even though they had it in their name, though.
Well, put it this way: they got rid of people they didn't like, and
yeah,
what's the difference? What's the difference if they don't like you or you can't produce anything and you're costing them money? You're not gonna be their favorite people.
No. Well, I mean, hell, even today we aren't.
Well, I get all that. We're nothing but debt slaves right now. That's all we are. And it just really is a rude awakening. And you think if you work harder and advance and everything else, they just take more from you and they devalue your currency and you're really just chasing your tail. And I've done it. Mm-hmm. So this isn't fucking make-believe Tim's opinions. I did it. I lived it. And it was all...
most of it's head up.
It's all big waste of time. And if there's a different way to do it where I can keep my freedoms and my liberty and let markets dictate the value of something like Bitcoin, and they start having it and produce less, which means it'll go up more, I'm all for it. But they continue to print billions of dollars and people don't understand what's going on. Well, this is what people are selling stuff. We can't raise the prices too much because people can't afford it, so we'll give them less. I mean, did you ever really buy a hamburger at XYZ restaurant, fast food chain a few years ago, and now you buy it, and it's like, is that fucking thing smaller, or is it me? No, it's smaller.
No, everything is smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about a Coke because the profit margins on that's fucking ridiculous. So, that's not a problem. They're just going to have to either absorb it or slightly pass it on or split it. So you're not going to get, well, I want a medium Coke and you get a fucking Dixie cup. That's not going to happen. But maybe it will. But yeah, it's just, this is something that's really passionate to me. And you just want to take people and either choke the living shit out of them and go, wake up, what's wrong with you, which isn't going to work either. But I really think, unfortunately, before people wake up and they're going to do something, they're going to have to be negatively affected like me.
Well, that's pretty much any topic, at least from my own observation,
right,
is until it hits somebody personally,
yep,
they either are apathetic, they don't, just flat out don't get it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And they stick their head in the sand.
Don't, until something happens to them regarding that situation, they're going to stick to whatever they grew up being taught and believe.
Right, which is shove the money in the bank or shove it in the stock market or your IRA or whatever, and things will be fine.
Yeah.
Not if the currency fails. That's what they don't get. Not if the currency fails. Yeah. And, that'll never happen. You're crazy. It's like, okay, you know what? You really need to do your fucking homework on the history of money across the planet.
Right.
I have. I don't know everything.
And over the years. Over the centuries, they need to look at it.
Yeah, since the beginning of time, actually. I mean, you got to put it into perspective. That's the only thing that pissed off Jesus, according to the Bible, when he was in some church or something, and all the bankers were there set up with their tables and stuff, and he actually tossed them over and told them all to fuck off. I'm sure he didn't use those words, but called them a bunch of names and told them to piss off. That's the only one time that Jesus did anything out of rebellion and anger. So what does that tell you?
Well, I mean, obviously it tells you that money is not a quote-unquote good thing.
Yeah, and the people that have controlled it even since way back then are a bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't care about you. And then I'll get off this, but when I tried saving my house in Vegas, my second home, they told me, the bank, and I'm not going to mention them again, also, although I should, but they said just get behind in your payments, and then we'll help you with the loan modification. So I did that, ruined my credit, and I go, okay, I need some help. And they said, we can't help you.
Yeah.
That's like telling a homeless person, come on in, you can take a shower, I'll feed you, and you leave them sit there, and you go take a shower, and then you make a nice goddamn dinner, and you eat it in front of them, and then you tell them, you know what, fuck you, I ain't going to fucking help you, get out of here. What kind of person, I'm sorry, but what kind of fucking person would do that?
That was actually a really great example.
Well, I try using analogies, and my former ex-wife's like, oh my God, here we go, another analogy. I'm like, you know what, I'm trying to prove a point here, because people don't get it. People don't get it, so you have to put it into terms they understand. And that's what these people are doing since the beginning of time. They could care less if you lose your house. Because all they're going to do is get it back and fucking sell it again and make a 30-year mortgage and turn $100,000 into fucking $500,000. They don't care.
No, they don't care about if you have a roof over your head or not. All they want is the money in their bank.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting pissed. But I'm sitting in a goddamn one-bedroom apartment alone in Colorado, and I had 2 goddamn houses and plenty of cars and all this materialistic shit, and I don't have a fucking pot to piss in right now. And nobody from the financial sector or the banking industry offered an extended hand, and they didn't even keep their word. That's the thing that gets me. They didn't keep their offer. They lied to me. Who does that? This is my home, asshole. This is my roof. This is where I raise my kids. Or this is my second home. And it's just like no big fucking deal to you.
No, of course not.
No. And that's why they're not going to care when the stuff melts down, because all the people that have all the goddamn money are either going to go buy Bitcoin, or they're going to buy houses, or they're going to buy land, or they're just going to buy something that has something of value, and we're all going to be fucked. And it's sad. It's who could do that's inhumane. Who could do that?
Well, exactly like you said, it's inhumane.
Yeah.
So it's people who don't care about other human beings.
It's heartless is what it is.
Very.
I mean, I'm not a big one for supporting homeless people and shit like that, but once in a great while, I'll slide them some money depending on what's going on with me, or I'll even buy them lunch, you know? But if they're misleading me or misguiding me, and that guy makes more money than I do, or woman being homeless, that's on them. I don't care. Or they're just going to go buy drugs with it or alcohol. That's on them. But at least I did something to make the world a better place by helping somebody. These people, They don't fucking care about any of that. They care about them. Most of them are narcissists and sociopaths. And I hate saying that, but it's true.
Well, I mean, it's nothing but truth.
Right.
You know, anybody who has amassed that kind of money they're not giving back to their communities most of the time.
Right. And I will agree with Obama, but not 100%. When, you made your business, and you didn't do that, you didn't do that. I think what he meant to say is you didn't do it alone,
Right.
I mean, nobody just gave you that money, but you provided a product and a service to bust your ass where people gave you that money. So I think he kind of misspoke, and I think he regrets saying that. But, yeah, you don't get there alone. That's the point.
No, nobody does.
No.
Nobody gets to the top alone.
No, because if you got there alone, go ahead.
When they don't recognize those who helped them get there, how can you not be a narcissistic sociopath?
And that's what all of them do. J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, all these fucking people, the Rothschilds, all these people that have the Rothschilds got their money by lying to the fucking king and queen, coming back saying they were losing the war.
Yeah.
I mean, those people should be held accountable for their actions. They lied to the king.
Right.
Said we're losing the war against the French, so everybody sold their fucking shares and we were actually winning, and the Rothschilds came in and bought it for fucking pennies on the dollar. Come on, really?
You know what? We should both watch that the family show on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then have a discussion about it.
Well, I will.
It's about all those people.
Well, then, I didn't know that. Then I will, because I didn't know that. I didn't know there was such a thing out there. Wow.
Yeah, it's like I said, I started watching it, and it's about all those families, the Rothschilds and all them.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
And it talks about how they have ingrained themselves in politics in every aspect of our lives
because of the money,
and that they are the ones that are in control.
Yeah, because of the money. That, like the Rothschild said, I don't care who makes the laws of a country. If I control their currency, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And it doesn't.
Well, and I mean, that's why we use sanctions and stuff to control other countries.
Exactly. Money.
Because if you hit their pocketbook, they can't do the things they need for their people to survive, so they'll fall in line with whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's called manipulation. And another thing, too, about Bitcoin, and this isn't my opinion, But other countries are going, you know what? We're slave to the dollar, and they can shove the dollar in their ass. And like Venezuela, I know they're looking at Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies right now. And all these other countries, China, they're all looking at that too, because we use our dollar as leverage, just in like what you're saying. And people are waking up to it and are getting fed up. And that's another reason why I think it'll take time, people waking up, but they're just going to go, you know what, piss on you. We're going to use Bitcoin. Then you can't interfere or manipulate transactions or systems.
Exactly.
So,
and I would like to see something like that happen.
Well,
I actually would, because it would pull that control away.
Exactly.
At least to an extent.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to destroy somebody, and believe me, I have been, fucking destroy them financially. Because it does. And then it tests your character and who you are and everything else. And you don't have to beat somebody up. You don't have to, God forbid, kill them or shoot at them or try to maim them. All you got to do is fuck with their money. If you want to destroy a person, you fuck with their money, their livelihood, because they can.
Yeah.
I've lived it. I'm living it now. It's horrible. Why? What did I do? Raise a fucking family and support a wife and then open a company and gave people jobs? Why am I sitting here in a fucking apartment all alone, making $50,000, $60,000 a year when I made $350,000 a year? Why am I sitting here? Because
I've never had that kind. I've never been on that side of the fence where I've had plenty of money.
No, I have.
So, I mean, I look at it from a little bit of a different perspective, because I mean, you can't really miss what you haven't lost, but at the same time, you can, because of that same system. You know, I was never able to get ahead.
Well, but that is true. But you can. People can do whatever they want. That's the control thing too. They, whoever they are, don't want you succeeding, because then you're competition and a threat.
Well, for me, it was being a single mom, not getting any child support from either of my kids' fathers, and essentially, you know, well, I mean, if you raise kids on your own on one income versus two, you know, that's enough said right there.
You can't even do it on two. Yeah, I can't even imagine that. I get that. You were suppressed because the money you were... See, it doesn't matter. It's just more zeros on the end of the money you bring in. But it'd be nice to have more coming in than what's going out. But for most people, that's not the way it is. And that's... I mean, you were financially obligated by raising your kids alone. That, you know, that... It's all debatable whether that was your fault. You picked the people you married. I'm just being honest. You know, you picked the guy, you married him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever.
It was the courts.
But the thing is, it ended badly, and you're the one that's stuck that has to raise your fucking kids.
Right.
And what did you do?
Nothing I personally did.
Exactly. So why are you being punished?
Right.
See, the whole system fucking sucks. You know,
it does.
It's just,
no matter which end you're on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if your marriage fails and you still have kids, you know, it should be, you know what, this is what it costs to raise the kids. You split it in half and you raise the fucking kids. Okay, then nobody's hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you would think.
And then you got to go get a job, because now you can't be full-time mom because you have to bring an income. You know? But that's life. But one person shouldn't be punished, or both for that matter, just because you get divorced and you're both financially destroyed, because that doesn't solve a problem at all. I don't get it. I was financially destroyed. She got all the hard works and the spoils out of everything. I got nothing but a pot to piss in, and the reason why she got everything was because of me. And that's the truth. That's like if I married you and I sucked off of you, whatever. You know, we lived happily ever after, and you made the income, but then we got divorced. Oh, well, you know what, Melissa? You're going to pay me now because of that business, and you let me be a business partner, so you're going to pay me half the value of the company, and you're going to pay me alimony because you're the breadwinner.
Yeah.
That's a piece of shit human being.
I agree. I agree
And then
completely, actually.
Then you wonder.
I've never been a real big fan of spousal support.
I would say, you know what? It ain't working out. Let's, we fell out of love, whatever. We're done. Let's just walk away, and good luck to you. Why can't you? And I don't want anything from you. That's your fucking business. That's you.
And see, that's how I left mine. Was I just walked away. The things and the money were not worth the issues that came along with them.
Well, the divorce laws in most states and everything else and this and that, it's all fucking wrong. It's horrible. Yeah. You shouldn't have to destroy one person so another person can survive. And then if you bring up, which wasn't in my case, but infidelity, and cheating, whatever the term is, what's the legal term? And they won't even
adultery.
Adultery, and they won't even. Well, we don't care who you fucked. Really? Well, that's why I'm standing in front of you.
Right.
And you're gonna let them get away with it, but then I got to pay their fucking ass for fucking somebody else. Sorry, I'm just saying it the way it is. Now, again, that's not what happened to me, but I'm just trying to make a point in how insane the laws are, and even when there are laws, they don't enforce them. Oh, we don't really care who you fucked. Really?
Well, and see, that's where I got screwed. Is while child support was ordered, it was never paid.
Well, that's contempt of court.
Yeah, but they don't do anything about it.
Well, I know, and they should, but I got threatened with it. When my business was going down, the woman that I loved and was my partner and my soulmate and had my fucking balls in her heart and my hand and everything else, I'm like, the business is going down. I can't pay you. Well, I'll just have to contact my attorney and have you arrested for contempt of court. How sweet. And what I said to her was, you know what? You can explain that to your granddaughter why her poppy is sitting in jail.
Right.
What type
but see, you were an active father.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you betcha. Oh, yeah. I came home and wrestled with my kids every night after busting my fucking ass 12 hours a day. Yeah, I was a good dad. I was a good husband and a good dad. I wasn't perfect, but who the fuck is? But yeah, you know what?
Well, nobody is.
There's plenty of women that would have loved to marry me and had kids with me, and kids being me being their dad. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that was my goal. I wanted my kids and my family to be better off than mine was. Isn't that the whole point?
It's supposed to be.
Right. Well, but
that's the whole goal of raising kids, is that you give them a better life than you had.
Right, which makes in turn the planet, without sounding like a world peace fucking idiot, but it makes the world a better place because you're starting with you. Exactly. And I did that. And you know what? I got fucked sideways. And it's like
you and me both.
Yeah, and it's like
in different ways.
But then, are you going to get married again? I go, you know what? I go, if you would keep the law out of it, or if you had an airtight prenup and an airtight pronup for after that, where everything's already divided, and it's essentially the divorce decree before you even get married, and you can't change it no matter what, yeah, I would. But why do you have to do that? You shouldn't have to do that.
Why should you prepare for failure?
Right.
When your hopes are for permanence.
That's like starting a company and then going seeing a bankruptcy lawyer.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, you don't, because your frame of mind is like you're going to fail. And I tell people that, well, should I start my own business? And what if I don't make it? Well, you know what? Right there, you shouldn't, because you have that in your head. Because if you think you're not going to make it, you're not going to make it.
No, it's all mental attitude.
If you're going to get married and you're worried about divorce, you're going to get divorced. So don't get married.
Yeah.
But after you get ran through the ringer and everything's taken from you and destroyed, I'm a little bit gun shy sticking my hand back in the fucking fire because I know I'm going to get burned again. And that's the problem. And without the family structure, we're fucked. I'm sorry. We're all screwed. So. Yeah. But whatever, sit there and preach all day long. It's just the fact that people have to wake up. And yeah, marriage is great, but don't get divorced. And don't do stupid things where it's going to cause you to get divorced. And be accountable for your actions. And set up your boundaries. And be careful who you let into your life.
because you have no idea who it is, and use your gut. And don't use your heart and your eyeballs and like, oh my God, they're so good looking. Yeah, well, but use your gut and listen to your gut. Is this person really a good person?
And if it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
That's true. That's true. Not all the time, but yeah, I would say 99%. You're right. I mean, you'll get lucky once in a great while. But everybody wins the lottery, So you'll get lucky once in a great while. But just because you play the lottery every day doesn't mean you're going to win every day. You're right. But you got to be very, very careful. And I think the key to it for me is setting boundaries and adhering to them, which I've done. I've already walked away from women.
I'm getting better about boundaries.
Yeah, you just have to. You just think, well, I don't want to be alone, because that's my biggest fear. I don't want to die alone. Who does? But I'm not going to break my boundaries just so I'm not lonely. It's like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. So.
Well, just don't do like I did and like completely cut yourself off from it.
No, I haven't. But see, my situation is this. My head and my heart and all that and my past is still in Illinois. And it's still hard for me to break free of that. So, but I am isolating myself from those people, and Illinois didn't do me a damn bit of good. And I have my friends in my home here in Colorado now. And I can't keep projecting or looking back at what was and what could. And my pastor gave a sermon on this. You can't change just the Sunday. You can't change the present by changing the past. And that's what I was trying.
Change the past.
I know, but people try.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I give up on all that. What's done is done. What you people have done. What you think, what you're going to do, it's all done. I'm not going to change that or try to change the past to your perception to change my present and my future. I'm done. My head is here in Colorado in this moment and not looking back 1,000 miles and 50-some years ago to people I known since I was 7 years old. I can't do that. I'm not going to get up from the show and go pick up my high school yearbook. And that's why I canceled my Facebook account actually this morning. I'm not going to go back on Facebook and look at all these people I've known, because it's essentially to me, and I know you don't think this way, but I do, that's my Facebook or my yearbook. I don't want to look at that. Yeah. If you want to call me and go, hey, Tim, it's, blankety blank from, I know who you are. I mean, or people that are friends back there. If you want me to know how you're doing, fucking call me. I don't want to see it on a post on Facebook. Because then you see this, and then you see that, and it drags you into shit you don't want to see. And you know what? I really didn't want to see that. So, and I don't. It just drags me to places I don't want to go. And and even the political part, which I don't want to get into. I don't want to see how big of an asshole Trump was, or how big of an asshole Obama is, or what. I don't want to see any of that. If I want to watch that, I'll turn on the fucking television. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
If you want to be a friend and you really care, call me on the fucking phone or write me a letter. Just that. Don't update it on Facebook so I can see it, because I'm going to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which, my opinion of social media is not real high. So.
Right. But we're all addicted to it.
Yeah. For me, it's business.
Well, I had a girl that was being so flirtatious with me, and I've known her since high school because she dated a friend of mine that I don't talk to anymore. Because actually he dated my wife now, or ex-wife now, that was my girlfriend, and was being real sneaky about it. Real nice guy. But anyway, this girl dated him, and I haven't talked to her in years, and she was being very, very complimentary and sending me messages and like that. So I reciprocated. And she goes, no, I just really have some real personal issues that I have to deal with, and I can't. And her status on Facebook was single. Well, a few weeks later after that, I said, okay, fine. Well, if you need anything, let me know, and blah, blah, blah. A few weeks later, she changed her relationship status from single to in a relationship. And I'm like, I don't want to see that. You could have called me and say, Tim, you know what? I'm sure this is what happened. I got back together with my ex-boyfriend. We worked things out. I know I told you this and said that. I just want you to know, I want you to hear it from me. instead of seeing it on fucking Facebook. Really? I mean, come on.
That would be a matter of respect.
Yeah, but, she's known as a sweetheart and this and that. I'm not saying she's not, but really?
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't say, Tim, I know I told you this and that, but I just got way too much going on for a relationship, but don't even tell me the details. It's really none of my goddamn business, but just say, I'm in a relationship now, and I just wanted you to hear it from me before you saw it on Facebook. No.
Right.
No. In a relationship, you know what? You can take all your complimentary shit and everything else and shove it in your ass. Because you just don't do that. And what I really want to be in a relationship with somebody that actually has that behavior, because I wouldn't.
Well, yeah, and it showed you that. So
exactly. But don't tug at my heartstrings and this and all that, and then and then make me chase you and then respond. And I go, oh, I really got some stuff going on right now. I really can't be in a relationship. And then 2 weeks later, you're in a fucking relationship. There's something wrong with you. Sorry. And I don't want, there's my boundaries again. I don't want that type of, regardless of gender, people in my life.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Regardless of friend or romantic.
Exactly.
You don't want those kind of people in your life.
Right. Exactly. So, all right. Well, look, I'm glad we talked about hemp and CBD oil and pot again. And it's 7:34. Someday we will. Maybe we should just keep saying we're doing that, because I think we're talking about a lot of good things here. So.
Oh yeah, we've had some great conversations.
In my opinion, well, that's because it's you and I. And I'm going to set up Skype where people can come in and do that too, because I really want to hear a third person or whatever, or different people's opinions on this, because we're talking about stuff that resonates with everybody. And quite honestly, again, and that's why it's the original Red Pill Show, if people don't start waking up, they're just going to be, oh my God, what happened to me? And then the denial stage and victim and this and everything else. And then they're going to get pissed. I'm not saying being a prepper and be prepared and go all out, because that's what people go from doing nothing to doing 200 miles an hour. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I'm going to buy storage food. I'm going to, I'm going to, buy silver, buy gold, whatever. And they go nuts, but then you got to come back into the middle of the road and put the pendulum in the middle. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to scare everybody, or you better do this, or this is going to happen, or whatever. I'm saying it has happened. It may happen. There are things you can do, but you got to wake the fuck up and educate yourself on it, and then take action.
Well, and there's also the fact that, everything is happening in front of our eyes.
Right.
We're watching decline right now.
Yep.
And you got to be prepared for all situations.
That's right. Okay, well, I'm glad you get it. See, but you've been through hell and back too, so you get it. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm a bit of a prepper myself, so.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I got dry storable food at my parents' house because I couldn't drag it all here. And she's like, "Can we really get rid of that?" And you know what I said to her? This was right at Christmas. I said, "Ma, what if Nancy Pelosi comes banging on your door and wants your guns, and there's a fucking civil war? Where are you going to get your food?"
Yeah.
And she didn't say a goddamn thing to that.
Well, because there's not much you can say to that.
Exactly.
Not with the current state of affairs.
No, because everything's going to go to martial law. Again, everybody thinks it's crazy. It's going to go to martial law. Everything's going to get locked down. You're going to have to stay in your house. And how long is the food? People have maybe a week or two at the most of food in their freezer and their fridges. What are you going to do after that?
Well, that, and as far as even just general money on hand.
Yep.
Most people are not prepared for needing to pay a $400 bill.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about crypto too, though. Bitcoin, it's going to get bad. It's going to be probably somewhere along the purge. It's going to be chaos. People are going to break into your house, whether you're there or not, and they're going to take your shit. And they can't take something that's sitting in cyberspace somewhere, like on Coinbase's server or whatever it's sitting on. There's nothing to take,
No.
So that's a nice thing about it too, where if you have physical silver and gold, they're going to take it, and you're fucked, and there's nothing you can do about it. So there's a lot of things to be looked into. And trust me, I have. Not everything, but I've checked into a lot. Because you'll go insane if you just constantly listen to Alex Jones and read all these books and do the. Not that he's bad or good. I'm just saying you can't be obsessed with this stuff. It'll drive you fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, it definitely will. You have to be able to draw that line somewhere.
Oh, exactly.
So that you don't go overboard.
Right. All right. Well, that's enough. We'll continue this tomorrow, and it's Hump Day, and we'll figure out some shit, and we'll talk about hemp CBD oil. And I think tonight I will try to get Skype to work where someone else can call in, because I would like that.
Okay. I'm actually supposed to talk to Alicia at some point today, as usual, and I'll remember to talk to her about how to integrate the Skype in.
Perfect. Okay.
So you have a great day.
All right. You too.
And I will talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Talk tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye. All right. So let me hang up on you. Let me hang up. She hung up. Good. All right. So you know what? I never know what I'm going to talk about. Bitcoin's on a tear. Do your homework on it. Read the Bitcoin Standard. Make your own decisions. It's you shouldn't have to go to hell and back. Actually, I've done it twice to learn things, but unfortunately, we learn by adversity and failure. It's what we do about it, and I'm just sharing that. Some people listen to this and go, "Wow, you're crazy, you're fucked up," and then they're shaking their head, "No, no, no," and then some people are shaking their head, "Yes, yes, yes," because they've been through it or they're going through it. And you can mark my words, someday, somehow, some way, you are going to go through it too. And the best way to do that is to be, quote unquote, spiritually, physically, economically, emotionally prepared. You won't be 100% prepared, but you'll know what's going on and you'll be able to deal with it. So, with that said, I got to go. Thanks. Time to make the donuts. See you later. Share the show. And thanks for listening to me and Melissa. You have been listening to the Red Pill Show. Bye.